Today on the channel, we look to the moon for some guidance with Moon Knight and Mr. Knight from the Ultron Build-A-Figure Marvel Legends wave.
The spirit of Olympian Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Marvel Legends unboxing and review. And today on the channel from the Ultron Build-A-Figure wave, we've got Mr. Knight and we've got Moon Knight. But remember, for all your Knight needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use the link in the description below or use discount code Kyle to save yourself 10% on all in-stock items. And of course, everything over $39 does ship free. And now we got these two, and after this we will finally be able to build that Ultron Build-A-Figure, and in that very video we will also rank the wave from my least favorite to my favorite. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to check that video out, as we got to finish this one first with the old Knight brothers, we'll call them. But let's kick it off. Let's start with old Moon Knight. Why not start with Moon Knight first? Moon Knight's first MCU figure, but not his first figure in Marvel Legends, as we'll compare him to two of them later on in this very video. But there he is, old Moon Knight in the old school Marvel Legends packaging, coming to an end. The plastic free is taken over. The old window box, a thing of the past. A little bit sad, I think, for a lot of us out there, but it is what it is. Time stops for no one. But we got Moon Knight, of course, big window box, a few accessories in here. No Build-A-Figure piece with this Moon Knight figure. On the side, got a little glamour shot, looking really good. And looking good over here. And on the back, we've got the big old cross cell. Like I said, we'll build that Build-A-Figure. We'll rank the entire wave, so stay tuned for that video here on the channel. We got the blurb. We got another glamour shot there of Moon Knight. Let's see what it says about our old friend, Mr. Moon Knight here. Clad in the ceremonial armor of Khonshu's chosen warriors throughout the centuries, Mark Spector is Moon Knight, sworn to obey Khonshu and deliver his vengeance accordingly. So there you go. As I keep saying, as we build this wave out, I still have yet to watch the Moon Knight series. Not super familiar with Moon Knight. I mean, I've read a few comic books with him back in the 90s. See you later. But I would by no means say I'm an expert on Moon Knight and what he's up to. But one of these days before the year's end, hopefully I'll watch that series. There's old Moon Knight right there, looking pretty good in the package. Got two Fists of Fury on him. Always happy to see those. And we're going to get him out of the package here. Pull that cape through. That cape always tough to get through. Come on. Come on. There it is. See you later. Goodbye. Moon Knight off to the side. Let's look at his accessories first. And like I said, he's got two gripping hands to hold his moons. Yeah, his moons. It makes sense. And then we do get two Fists of Fury. Very mummy-esque, kind of wrapped up, taped fist type hands. I guess we'll call it that. But he's got two Fists of Fury there, looking really, really good. And then we got the moons, the moon kind of frisbee type things he's got. You know, he's like almost like a throwing star a little bit. He does have these. Do these clasp on him somewhere? Very interesting here. I'm noticing something. I'm trying to figure this out, how this works. Maybe I'll figure it out as the video goes. But it looks like there's little plugs in the back of these moons. They do got a little bit of detail to them in here. It looks very good. Very gold color, very shiny. Not sure exactly what these indentions are in the back. Oh my gosh. Kyle, just look at the other one. You'll figure it out. These do go together to create one big one, so you can have two separate ones, or they do plug together to make one bigger moon right there. So once again, choose your own moon adventure. To me, I kind of like him having one in each hand, but you can't make one giant one right here. So that's what it does. I thought it was going to clip onto him somewhere. That was not the case. So we do get those. Now we get Moon Knight here, and looking very cool and looking very mummy-esque. Obviously, you guys know the Moon Knight character a little bit with Egyptian. I don't even know how you'd say it. I mean, I'm not even going into it, but he's not quite a mummy, but he plays one on TV, it almost looks like here, as he does have the wrappings going on. I do love the addition of the gold bandings, the gold to really break up that white and gray color. Without that, he's going to look just like the mummy is what he's going to look like. But a lot of gold medallions throughout, a lot of moon imagery on him. You even get the hieroglyphics down there on his thighs. looking really good there. And then you got moons kind of sculpted in. And then you got the big old cape here, a nice gray cape. Cape is not removable. Then you do get a matching hood over the top of him here that matches the cape. That looks really good as well. I got the moon right there in the forehead. Got the whites of the eyes. Got the wrappings over the face. I mean, he really does look like a mummy here. But this is a very clean figure. You take a look at this. It's very, very clean looking. I really do like that. Obviously, the pinless joints really help on something like this to make it look clean. But let's look at the articulation real quick. Arms do go all the way around. A little bit limited by the cape, but you can move around it. You do get a bicep cut. Like I said, double jointed, pinless elbows, hands back and forth, hands of course removable. You do get some hula hoop at the top, head back and forth, side to side, up and down, a little bit limited by his cape in the back, but nothing too terrible. You do get a normal waist as well. He can do those big old Moon Knight splits as he needs to when he's jumping around at night. Of course, you got the thigh cut on him, double jointed knees, very tight joints once again, and then you do get ankle articulation side to side, back and forth, up and down. Once again, very tight articulation. I really do like the looks of the character here, and like I said, I will watch the series. I will get around to it. It looks very interesting, kind of the darker side of the Marvel Universe and some of the darker heroes. And Moon Knight's a guy that I really remember, I think, from Spider-Man comics, I think is where I crossed paths with him in my reading days back in the day. And I always enjoyed what I saw, I guess, but not enough to dive into him like the Wolverines of the world. I guess that's fair. Does he fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand? There it is. Look at that. Fits like a glove. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%, as I always do say, on the ringside stands. And they are on sale right now. Now's the time to load up for the year. That's what I always do. So looking good right there. And then let's compare him to a few other of his friends. Moon Knights through the years. I'm trying to think which one was which. One of these was a Walgreens exclusive. It might have been this one. I can't even remember at this point. But we've had two MCU, or I should say Marvel Comics version here. This is our first MCU version of Moon Knight. So very interesting. And of course, when the Moon Knight series was announced and all that stuff, it really made these ones shoot up in price. So much so, we're seeing a re-release of the Marvel Comics one. If you don't need that, you can easily pass. Somebody like me, I already have it. Don't need the re-release of that one, so I'll easily pass on that one. But very cool. This Moon Knight does look really good. I don't know. I guess maybe once I watch the series, I might like this one a little bit more. But as of right now, I probably like the comic book ones. That's what I'm more accustomed to in my history of Moon Knight. So there you go. Moon Knight looking not so bad here. But what about his cohort here? What about Mr. Knight? Mr. Knight looking very, very regal in this suit. Looking really good. Once again, it's old school packaging. Got the big plastic window. We're going to really miss that. Got extra hands with him. We do get a Build-A-Figure piece with this one, though, as we will build Infinity Ultron. And there he is on the side, Mr. Knight. Same thing on the other side. Then the back, of course, the big cross-sell down below. We got the blurb. You got the glamour shots. Got all the fun there. Let's see what it says about Mr. Knight. An expert on ancient Egypt, Stephen Grant is thrust into action as Khonshu's, I'm probably not even saying his name right, but he's Khonshu to me, or Clownshu, avatar. Mr. Knight relying on his keen mind to enact his master's will. And we'll compare him to his master here very shortly here. So hang tight for that one. But there it is. Goodbye. See you later. Making a mess as usual. And there's old Mr. Knight in the package. All white, really washed out a little bit in the light there. But we do get the Ultron Build-A-Figure piece. Like I said, we will build him and rank the entire wave later on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Pull out his accessories here. All right. Got that. And, oh, come on. Tape. Tough tape here. Tough tape. Fight me. Fight me. There it is. See you later. Goodbye. All right, let's look at him next. We'll look at his accessories first. We're going to start with the hands, and he's got the opposite going on here. He's got two fists of fury ready to go, and then he does have the gripping hands here. Probably going to use the gripping hands for him, as you're going to have him with his batons most likely on your display. At least I am, so I will use the gripping hands. Very mummy-esque once again, but more white gloves-esque this time. Not so much wrapping as it looks a little bit more like white gloves here, but it's your standard gripping hands. Always need those along the way. Then, like a young daredevil, he's got his little batons, battalions, whatever they're called here. Got the kind of hieroglyphic sculpting into it. Looks really good. It's all gray with gold on the end handles. Not too shabby looking there. A little bit small maybe, but what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? But now we break down the old Mr. Knight, and let's walk through his articulation. Seems to be similar but different. Obviously, they're in the same line as Moon Knight, but his arms do go all the way around. Do got a bicep cut. Unfortunately, we do got pinned joints on this one, so we got a little bit older body mold going on. So it just feels a little more flimsy than some of the newer stuff, at least to me. Hands removable, of course. The head all the way around, up and down. Pretty good movement on the head for the most part there. A lot of movement back. I mean, he can look basically straight up to the moon if he needs to. Oh, very tight, very tight. Then you do get a waist articulation. No real ab crunch, pretty much blocked by that big vest he's got going on underneath there. Pretty much all built together. And then you do get down to his legs. He can do those big old Mr. Knight splits. He does got a thigh cut. Double jointed knees. Oh my gosh, double jointed, very tight knees. But the knees are pinless, the elbows are not. So make note of that, I guess. I thought for a second we had butterfly in there, but we do not. And then you do get ankles back and forth, up and down. It looks like he's got mummy slippers on. It looks like slippers, shoes kind of going on with kind of that mummy wrapping. All white colored figure here, or is that the lack of color, or is it all color? What is white? Black is the lack of color, white is all color? Is that how it goes? I don't know. I'm not an artist. I should ask my daughter. She would know that answer in a heartbeat. But a very, very regal three-piece coat going on. He's got the nice white tie underneath. Got the blue eyes that really do peer through into your soul here because he's all white except for those blue eyes, so that is a nice touch. Does got the moon logo on his forehead, much like Moon Knight had as well. But a bit of a plain figure, but really cool in his plainness. Does that make sense? I mean, it does stand out. It does look very good having him here by himself. Not too shabby at all. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be for everybody once again when you watch the show. Maybe he'll steal your heart. Maybe he'll never let go. Maybe you'll need him in your collection. I guess that's the best I can do for you here. Does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? Yes, he does. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%, as I said earlier. And then I guess Khonshu of the Build-A-Figure of the last wave of Marvel Legends we did. You got him right here, so you can kind of pair these guys together. I guess we can build out our Moon Knight universe right there, like so, like so. So not too shabby across the board. Like I keep saying in these unboxings of the Moon Knight franchise, I think I'll have a better acceptance and maybe a better appreciation once I do watch the show. Who knows, or maybe I won't. But not too shabby of characters between these three, in all honesty. I really do like all three of these in different ways. Probably Mr. Knight's probably my least favorite of the three here. The Moon Knight is very, very good. I really do like the looks of this one, even when you compare it to some of the comic ones that I'm more familiar with. But what say you guys out there in YouTube land? What are your thoughts on Moon Knight? What's your thoughts on Mr. Knight? You'd let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Make sure you do like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn the old notification bell on. You don't want to miss the rankings video. You don't want to miss the Ultron Build-A-Figure video upcoming very, very soon on the channel. So stay tuned for that as well. And don't forget about the Patreon for early access to videos like this. And best of all, you do support the channel. Don't forget to follow me on social media, SirPaul64 over there on Twitter. And then, of course, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. And ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson. So for Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, I'm Kyle. Good night.